Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Jadiro coming back at you with another warrior build. Today we'll be covering Arms Warrior. You want to push that CR? Stay tuned. Alright guys, Arms Warrior. You're trying to push CR, you're trying to get up there, you like solo shuffle, you like twos. Here you go. You have the Arms Warrior build. So how I'm going to break this up for you guys is I'm going to go into my offensive cooldowns and then my defensive cooldowns, so you guys can get a good mix of what's going on and pretty much how easy the build can be and how easy it can be to go through the rotation. World of Warcraft does take some skill, and through my trials and tribulations I've acquired some more skill, and I've come to stumble upon the fact that Arms is a superior build if you're trying to push CR. Alright guys, let's start with your primary abilities. This is what you're going to have basically on your 1 and 2, your 3 and 4, your 5 and 6, and so on. So the main abilities you're going to want to have, and you don't really have a choice, funny enough, is Mortal Strike and Overpower. Think of Overpower as a primer for Mortal Strike. So when you're overpowering, you're making this a stronger ability. So as we go further down the middle of the tree, you're going to want to get Colossus Smash. Make it Warbreaker. Warbreaker pretty much turns Colossus Smash into an AoE, which does a butt ton of damage and exposes your enemy to more damage. And the pièce de la résistance, Blade Storm, get this, trust me. Execute is also a huge part of your rotation, so don't forget to put points into Improved Execute, Sudden Death, Massacre, and Executioner's Precision. On the Warrior talent point side, I go Avatar with the built-in Blade Storm, and I go Bastion with the increased duration and increased critical strike damage to Bastion. So that pretty much sums up your offensive abilities. I'll show you guys in a demonstration how it all works and I'll talk you through it. Let's move on to the defensive cooldowns. So for defensive cooldowns, I go Die by the Sword. It increases your parry chance by 100% and also reduces the damage you take by 30%. We also have Ignore Pain here. You wouldn't believe the difference this can make at the end of a game or a long drawn out game. Ignore Pain is huge, take it. Before I go over to this side of the tree, I want to let you guys know that I have Die by the Sword and Ignore Pain built into macros. For anyone that doesn't know what a macro is, it basically combines 2 moves or 3 moves into one hotkey, which is pretty sweet. So for instance, I have Die by the Sword, it's tied into my Avatar macro, and I have Overpower and Ignore Pain on the same hotkey. So when Overpower is on cooldown, I could spam it and it will proc Ignore Pain. On the Warrior talent side, I suggest going Berserker Rage. There's so much CC in the game. Anything that can get you out of a CC, I highly recommend taking, including things like your medallion. Don't forget to take your medallion if you're competing in PvP. I also have Intimidating Shout. It's really nice to get a fear off mid-battle if I'm getting dogpiled and I need to heal or heroic leap out of the way. Intimidating Shout really provides you a window to either deal more damage, a finisher, or to survive basically. Spell Reflect, I'm still on the fence about. The only reason I take it is because I have to take Intimidating Shout. Spell Reflect unfortunately can be consumed by dots. I don't know if they're going to fix it or if anyone else experiences that, but I find Spell Reflect gets consumed by dots, and it'd be better if it only reflected projectiles. I think that makes more sense. Stormbolt, it's a no-brainer. It's not really a defensive cooldown, but it can be. I recommend you take it. It's one of your best and only stuns besides Warbreaker on the charge. Take it. For survivability defensive cooldowns like Ignore Pain, I take Bitter Immunity, Rally Cry, and Impending Victory. These are your no-brainer abilities to keep you alive as a warrior. They could really make the difference between a win and a loss. If you guys like macros or want to learn more about macros, I can do a video on all my macros for Fury Warrior, Prot Warrior, Arms Warrior, whatever you like. I would love to do a video like that. Just let me know in the comments if you'd like to see something like that. And while you're down there, also leave me a like and subscribe. I am a growing channel and I'd really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Well, that pretty much sums it up. If you guys want a more in-depth guide where I talk about every single little talent point here, I have no problem doing a video like that as well. I like to keep it short and simple for people that are in the know, and I also like to keep it short and simple for people just trying out the build and they just want to simply learn the rotation. Next, we'll be talking about stat prio. Stay tuned. Alright guys, as far as stat prio goes, I always like to prioritize crit for arms. You hit like a dump truck, and to have that crit proccing more than often is huge. Second to that, I would take Mastery and Versatility, and then Haste last. The only time I would prioritize Haste over any of these two is if I was going an Arms Warrior bleed build, which I am not. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll show you a demonstration of how this works. Stay tuned. So we have the timer set up here. I'm going to start by charging in, priming with overpower, then hitting with mortal strike. And on my downtime, I'm going to pop my warbreaker. And if it does pop, I'll pop execute. Alright, I'm going to start the timer now, and you guys will see the simple rotation. And we'll look at the damage charts after. Let's go. Overpower, overpower, mortal strike. Overpower, warbreaker. Mortal strike, overpower. Execute. I'm going to throw it on my bastion, blade storm. And anytime you see those two gold bars on either side like that, that means my overpower is ready to be cast again. Execute. I'm going to pop my avatar and my die by the sword macro. Execute. Then overpower, mortal strike. You guys get the gist of it. You're pretty much just popping whatever's off of cooldown. You prime with overpower and then you release with mortal strike. Coming up on a minute here. And boom. Alright, as you guys can see, most of the damage is coming from your overpower and your mortal strike. Also, execute does a butt ton of damage, but don't count this as accurate information. You won't be able to execute as much as I did in that fight. You get a lot of secondary damage from Blade Storm, Dreadnought, just your normal melee attack, and your deep wounds dot that you get passively. But as we know, the proof's in the pudding, so let's get into an arena and see how this really works. Alright guys, we're in an arena here. I got a mage with me. It's a warlock mage. This is strictly a demonstration, win or lose. It's just to show you guys how the build works.
It's time for the show.
So my brain says open up on the warlock. Also, mages are pretty good targets, but so I got feared. I'm gonna pop my trinket. I'm gonna overpower. I'm gonna blade storm here. Okay, we got the ice cube off the man. I'm gonna execute mortal strike. Warbreaker. Charge. Execute. I'm gonna fear him. Buy me a little time. I'm gonna pop my defensive so I don't die right away. Maybe give the mage a chance here. There we go. I'm gonna use impending victory to get a little health back to keep me in the fight, and then execute. Perfect. Worked out great. As you can see, the damage was great too. I did flub the Bastion Blade Storm combo there. I meant to hit Stormbolt for whatever reason. I hit Bastion. Well, that's the video, guys. It was great. This is the Arms Warrior tutorial guide video. I'm making a Fury Warrior guide video too. It will be updated shortly, and I'll post it as soon as possible. I love making videos like this, and if you guys love it too, please leave a like and subscribe. That'd be great. But until next time, your boy Jadiro signing out. Peace.